Another free technology that I use quite a bit is Jing, and it's available from techsmith.com. Now TechSmith, I use other products from them as well. I use Snagit, which is a screen capturing tool, but you have to pay for that. I also use Camtasia in order to create video tutorials and recordings like these. But Jing is a free tool that you can use for screen captures and also for video captures. And I like to be able to use that to give students feedback. Now you can go to techsmith.com and you can download Jing for free. And they have a very good series of tutorials. Once you download it and install it, you can use it on Windows or Mac. They have a number of support tutorials. So if you wanted to go in, they have a lot of video tutorials on using Jing or any of the other tools that they have. But you can go in, a lot of them are written and a lot of them are videos, and they're very good at walking you through how to use Jing. It's not a very complex thing. You don't have the ability with Jing to go in and do any editing on your video. But I have it installed on my computer, and on a Windows or Mac computer, once you have installed Jing, somewhere on your screen will be a little sun. Now Windows typically puts it along the top center part of your screen. My Mac, it was in the top right corner, but I moved it over here so that it was visible within the area that I'm recording so that you can see what this looks like. So what we have here for once Jing is installed and you set up a free account with Jing to go to Screencast. Now if you use Jing in combination with Screencast, then you can upload your videos to the web and then your students can access it very quickly and easily. And you can also upload screenshots as well, so that if you wanted to, rather than attaching them to an email, you can upload them to Screencast and then give students the link to it, or you can embed it into Web Study or other content management system. So as I said, I like to use this for giving students feedback. Sometimes it's a lot easier to show and describe feedback than to write out a long, complicated email. So let's say, for example, I have some student assignment that I wanted to give feedback on. I have a sample PowerPoint, and if I wanted to give my students some feedback here, I can go in and I can start the Jing Capture on the little sun. This crosshairs is for capture, and then as I move my mouse around on the screen, you can see that it starts to highlight different areas that I might want to be able to grab. So since I want to do this whole window, I'm just going to click inside here, or I can just click and drag to draw an area in here if I didn't want the entire window. So I'm just going to drag the whole window anyway. And once I do, then I have options here. I can capture an image, I can capture video, and if I'm capturing video, then I can also turn on my webcam. I can redo the selection, and then I could just cancel the whole thing altogether. So for this, we'll start with an image. So if I choose an image, you can see that we have grabbed a screenshot of the area that we selected. I can come in here and I can use these tools for drawing arrows. I can select things. If I wanted to highlight an area, I can use highlighter, although that probably looks better on something that's not gray. I could highlight down here maybe. And for each of these, you do have options for changing things like the colors. And I can leave text, so I can drag an area and write in a message to my student, and then I could use an arrow to point out maybe what I wanted to describe. So we can mark up your screenshot, and then we can, once we've done that, we can copy it, or we can save it, or we can upload it to Screencast. So copy means it will capture a copy of this, and we can paste it into a Word document or a PowerPoint, any place else that you would paste an image. We could save the file, we could give it a name and say save it, and then we could save it as a PNG file to your computer. But what I really like is being able to upload it to Screencast. If I upload it to Screencast, then it's going to show me that it's uploading it. And once it's finished, I get this little thing that pops up that tells me that it's been saved as a link and I'm ready to use it. So now if I open up my web browser and I paste right away, because it told me that it copied that into my clipboard, then I can come in here and I can see the screenshot that I created. So I could give that link to a student in their email and say, go here and here is the screenshot, or I could attach it as a separate file. And if, for example, you wanted to include this maybe in Web Study or another CMS, once you're here, we can right-click and choose Copy Link Address. And what that will do is, instead of making it a link that they have to click on to go here, when you're in Web Study, you can put in the link, right? In Web Study, there's a box where you can add an image. So in Web Study, if I'm composing an email or an assignment, something of that nature, and I wanted to include an image, I can click on the icon for image, and then I can paste in that URL. And then you have other things like alignment and borders and things of that nature. You can play with those. And I put this in, and there's my image in my email or in my assignment or even in the forum, and then the students will see that or embedded in Web Study. So rather than linking them out, it's right there and they have to see it. So when you're on the page, again, that was rather than linking out to it, which would be this link, you can right click and choose Copy Link Address. And then you go into Web Study, choose the image, Insert Image option, and then put that link in there. So this image will stay up on Screencast until you log into your Screencast account and delete it from there. So it is possible to use that for long-term storage. Okay, so back to Jing. In addition to capturing an image, as I said, we can capture video, and it's a very similar process. You choose your capture and the area that you want to capture, and this time we can choose capture a video. And when you do, it will tell you whether the microphone is on or off. I'm going to turn it off right now since I'm already using it for this video. But now, whatever I do on my screen and what I say, if I have the microphone turned on, is recorded so that, I can come in here and I can demonstrate things. I can point out maybe if I had some suggestions on where I wanted things lined up, or, how to change the font or move things around. So I would be giving my feedback here. Now, one of the things with Jing is when you are recording, you can pause it and then you can stop it, which means you're finished and you don't get to continue recording. And if I wanted to turn on the webcam, I could. I could restart the recording. But as you see, when I move my mouse over here, we have a little timer going on. You only have 5 minutes. And even if you get the upgraded account, if you pay for a Jing account, which is like $15 a year, you still only get 5 minutes of recording time. So if you have a really long feedback, you could break it up into different sections, and I've done that many times. So let's say I'm finished my recording and I've given all my feedback for my student, and now I want to finish. So if I click finish, it comes up with a final screen, and this is the flash security pop-up. You can just click OK. It's just something with a setting on our security settings. So I could play this back and I can watch the recording, and if I had the audio turned on, you would hear the audio going as well. So once I'm finished with this, and as you are watching this, you can pause and play it back again as need be. You can give this a name, and again, you can save it to your file or save it to your desktop or your computer somewhere. But again, I like to use Jing, so I'll give it a name. So I might say, the student's last name and the project, and then I can click upload to Screencast, and it's going to take a few minutes to upload. And when it's finished, again, it's going to give us a link to say, okay, you can give them this link to go there and watch it. And so usually I'll give them the link in my email or my assignment feedback And this can be helpful to the student because, they don't have to interpret what you're trying to say in an email. They can see it and they can hear your feedback, especially useful with an online class. So now the link is pasted into my clipboard. And if I go back into my browser here and I put in the link, then this is what the student would see when they go here, and they'll be able to play it and watch it over and over again. So I find that to be a very useful tool, and I even have students who'll ask me to give them feedback this way if they still don't understand something. Now you can log into your Screencast account. So at screencast.com, you would put in your email and your password to get into your account. You will need to have that established before you can use this to upload things to Screencast. So once I've logged into my Screencast account, I have different places. Now one is for Jing, and since I use Camtasia also, a place where I can have my videos and files uploaded for Camtasia. So if I go into my Jing account, you can see that these are a listing of the different things that I have done. I have screenshots and I have videos that I've done. So there are a number of different things that I can come in here. After a semester is over, then I'll come in and start to delete some old things so that I don't run out of space. I believe we get 2 gigs of disk space. And so this is where your content is actually stored, and you can go in and you can either delete everything or you can go in and delete things individually out of each of your accounts. So that is Jing and Screencast. Again, over here I'll show you quickly. This is where we do the capture. This is where you can go into your history, and it keeps a complete history of the things that you've done. I've even gone back in like several months later and my history is still here, so I'm not even sure how long it stays in there, but I've gone back quite a ways to find things. So you can see that these are the last 2 that I just worked with. I just created the video, so I could double click on it to open it up and then come back in and review it, and then maybe if I didn't want to upload it and I wanted to keep a copy on my computer, then I could save it. And then same thing for my screenshot. I could come back here and open it and do some more editing to it and revising and then upload it or save it. So that's an overview of working with Jing, and it's free, which is a really great resource, and I think it might help you working with feedback for your students.